I'm Diana McCullum.
I'm Andrew Ivamy.
And this is Fan vs. Fan for The Flash on Earth-2.
Ooh. Ha. Reverse.
You're going to see things that look and feel familiar, but they're not. Do not let yourself get sucked in emotionally.
If we're not back in 48 hours, you need to close the breach.
Welcome to Earth-2.
Hey, handsome.
Close the breach.
So, which one of you is in the wrong universe?
Close the breach.
Which one of you is in the wrong...
Mary is protecting your world, and our world needs a Flash now.
Close the breach.
They could be stuck there forever.
Alright, so on tonight's episode of The Flash, we see the Star Labs crew close up the remaining breaches, use the one final breach for Barry and Wells and Cisco to head on over to Earth-2. We meet the Earth-2 version of most of the Flash crew, and then we have Geomancer visiting Earth-1, and it all wrapping up with Barry now kidnapped by Zoom. Big episode tonight, so let's get into it. Let's talk pros. All right, pros about tonight's episode. Diana, what did you like?
Everything on Earth-2 was
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yep.
This was the highlight of the season so far. Zoom was terrifying. Everyone in their alt versions were great.
Yeah.
Like, I really hate saying this, but I think this is easily my favorite version of Caitlin and Iris.
100% agree.
I never really thought they were bad actresses, but I've never connected with either of them on regular Flash, and I think they both killed it as their alt 2 versions. Like, these characters were so much more interesting to me. I loved it. I loved badass detective Iris West.
Great.
And Danielle Panabaker really killed it as Killer Frost. Like, I felt that she loved Ronnie. I felt that she loved being evil. Like, she actually pulled off, like, the sexy femme fataleness.
Yeah, it really worked. She pulled off the look, and it really conveyed everything that they needed it to. And, it really showed the range of both of the actresses playing the parts. For both Danielle Panabaker and Candace Patton. They did a phenomenal job.
They were both amazing. And also just, like, every turnaround, just having Deadshot as a bat terrible.
It was a lot of fun in tonight's episode. Like, it was a really charming episode with every kind of switch being personable. Yeah, Floyd Lawton, who you might know as Deadshot if you watched Arrow, him as the can't shoot captain, the Earth-1 captain being a villain with terrible sideburns. Even that, I'm like, that's terrible, but fun. Great hat.
But as fun as this episode was, like, there was also just, like, really touching moments, like the call with the mom, and then Joe dying. Like, this episode had great ups and downs of fun and tragedy.
Yeah, it was really well done, and I think the heartfelt moments paired with some of the charm and personality of the wardrobe, costume, and set design of what they've done with Earth-2 was really nice. Like, Iris was a stronger character and a more charming character than she has been on the Earth-1 show, but also even the little detailing, like the bulletproof vest that she's wearing that has those just, like, really nice embroidered buttons on it.
Which I felt was, like, not even just like that's her vest. Like, that's just how the vests come in Earth-2.
Yeah.
They all have just nice designs on them.
And I really liked that style. I liked how it looked on her, and not only was she a better written character that I wanted to see more of than I ever have previously, it was just those little details, those little touches that the wardrobe department did. You know, Barry's heartfelt call with his mom, but on that old-timey new age phone, like an old phone style, but cordless, no dial, and just 5 buttons. Like those
How do you call anyone else on that phone?
I don't think you do.
I don't. Speed dial numbers.
You just get 5 people in this world. That's it. They're like, you pick wisely.
Ooh.
So, like, things like that, I'm like, that was a lot of fun, really good little prop pieces added with the emotional connection. It really hit me on all angles of charm, persona, writing, and performance. Everyone got where they needed to be. And I'm with you. Caitlin and Iris, Danielle Panabaker and Candace Patton, the best performance they've ever done, to the point where, like, I understand some things about the show now that I did not understand until this episode. Like, I up until this episode, and we brought it up before, because we've never been a big fan of the Iris character thus far.
No, she never seems like she fits anywhere.
Never quite clicks. And up until now, I haven't been able to determine if this is a problem with the performance or the problem with the writing of the Iris character. Because up until now, I'm like, is she just not selling me on it? Does this work on page and the actress just can't get it through? Or do they not understand who this character needs to be? And after seeing the performance in tonight's episode, I'm like, oh my god, the writers just have not figured out Iris's character, in my opinion, thus far, because Candace knocked it out of the park in performance tonight for Iris.
I completely, totally agree. I've never been able to get a hold of Iris's place in the universe in this show, and I totally agree. Her performance was so good that I'm like, she's just being poorly written. There's nothing poor Candace Patton can do.
There's no other explanation now. It's just writing.
Even though this wasn't her Barry, I felt she had more chemistry with this Barry than she's ever had with brother Barry, which I guess
most definitely.
Actually, I feel like this Barry wasn't her brother, so maybe that was the huge change.
Maybe that was the game changer.
Because Joe didn't like him. So
there was more chemistry between her and Barry, but also even that tensious relation between her and Joe sold a lot more. I'm like, I bought her dynamic with Joe more. I bought her dynamic at the police office more than I've ever bought her dynamic as a journalist. I bought her as a police officer, as a daughter, as a wife, as a love interest, and as a badass. I bought everything that her character was selling far more than I ever have.
Yeah, because some characters it was just like, you're just wearing different clothes.
Yeah.
Was some of the other characters. Like Ronnie was pretty much the exact same, but a little bit evil.
Yeah.
She felt like a different, fully fleshed out character that I'm like, man, maybe Earth-1 Iris can die and she can just jump ship. Like, I would love this Iris.
I would love it. Was fleshed out to the point where like it didn't feel like we just introduced that character. It was so well rounded and comprehended in every regard that I'm like, I feel like we've spent 2 seasons with this Iris, and I forget who that other one even is anymore.
Yeah, when we would jump back to Earth-1, I'd be like, oh, we do have another Iris, and I want to keep this one. Yeah. And like, I don't want Caitlin to be evil, but I also really like this Killer Frost. I believe her.
Yeah.
That tragic moment when Ronnie dies, and like he's the only guy she can kiss.
Real good moments.
Like, oh,
real good moments.
Sad.
But that's what we liked about tonight's episode. But I think that's enough in the pros column. Let's get a little bit negative. Let's look at the cons of tonight's episode.
All right. Your cons.
Oh, I got some cons. Actually, my cons are a little bit light. It's lighter than usual because I did sincerely enjoy tonight's episode. But I will say, Geomancer.
I think we both have the same con.
Why?
I think our con is
why? Can you explain to me why?
No.
Do you know why?
I guess we can't just.
Do you know why?
If you write in, we have a live chat going. We have Twitter.
Why?
Yeah, terrible villain. And, like, why do we need anything happening on Earth-1? If anything's going on Earth-1, it should just be, we need to figure out how to reopen the breach.
Yeah.
Like, just a little bit of science once an act.
Just a little bit, enough to touch base back with them so that we don't forget that they're there worrying about our heroes of this storyline. We don't need another metahuman on Earth-1. And especially, like, a fumbling metahuman who just kind of walked away at the end, who could be shot. Joe could have just shot. We don't need more of this, the Formula 7, what's it called? The Velocity 7. We don't need more Velocity 7. We don't need more J. I have a disease. What disease? Stop asking questions. I'm sick.
Stop nagging me. No answers.
We don't need more of that J stuff. We don't need more Velocity 7. We don't need a metahuman on Earth-1. Especially for something like this, which is a 2-parter, where they've clearly spent such an immense budget, detail, prompt, costuming, wardrobe, set design on Earth-2. Why would you distract from this great, shining, pivotal moment in your series, your big showcase of what you can do, what you can get done, and what you can accomplish in this show, to be like, yeah, but we still have that old stuff, and we threw in a throwaway villain, and he can maybe get shot, and Jay's vaguely sick.
Yeah, like, because there's so much fun stuff happening on Earth-2. We don't need any Earth-1. And as you said, Geomancer could just get shot in the head by cops. Yeah. That's easily a thing that should have happened.
He seems like a regular speed dude who could be shot while he's walking to an earthquake. Like,
and he's caused multiple earthquakes. I have to assume people have died. The cops can just shoot him and should. And Joe tried to and hit his Kevlar vests, I guess he was wearing.
I guess, yeah. But then he just kind of walked away casually. Like, he was clearly hurt, but like, just stumbled away.
He didn't like get in a car or anything. There was a bunch of cops there.
Well, that was the thing. It wasn't even just Joe. There were a lot of cops. He seemed, quite frankly, surrounded. And there was no need for Jay to show up. And the whole time he's like, can you get the Flash? Like, just that whiny, no need for it.
Yeah, like the Flash would have punched him in the face and the fight would have been over.
Yeah.
Like, that's not... Oh, yeah. Everything on Earth-1 was just bothering me because I was loving Earth-2 so much. I was like, get out of here. Get out of my way.
Well, it's the same problem that the whole season has been having, but now it becomes even more noticeable because the problem with the season so far has been the villain of the week, metahumans, seem very trivial, unimportant, and forced in when the big seasonal arc is about Wells getting his daughter back. It's about Zoom. It could have been about Jay's sickness. It's about the breaches. And especially now when we've reached the apex of all of that. We've figured out the breaches, we're closing the breaches, we're confronting and face-to-face with Zoom on Earth-2. It's the pinnacle of everything, but we still have that distracting villain of the week. We still have that distracting metahuman that does not move anything forward.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. When I know the very last scene of this episode was Barry in the cell, but the second last scene was Caitlin patching up Jay on Earth-1. I was like, this is not vital. Yeah. We don't need any of this. I want all the Earth-2 I'm going to get in these, 2 episodes, I think, are all we're getting on Earth-2.
Yeah.
And I want all of it.
Milk it to its full extent.
You built all these sets.
Yeah. Yeah, get every little bit of juice you can out of the Earth-2 scenario, because why wouldn't you? Quite frankly.
Yeah, they get to shove in all these Easter eggs you don't get.
Now, and the final thing that I will say is, as a con for tonight's episode, so it's pretty much the Earth-1 stuff. I think we're both on board for that. But the other one that I think you might not necessarily agree with is I did not like Earth-2 Cisco. I didn't enjoy Reverb. I thought he looked silly. I thought he didn't quite sell it. I thought the mascara was a bit much. I also can't be intimidated by someone with a man bun. It just doesn't work for me.
I totally disagree. I really liked Reverb. I liked that visually he was totally different because he was the dark side. I love the dark side is just eyeshadow. But
yeah,
it was I
believed
eyeshadow.
it.
I believed it. I mean, I think everyone's alt version is just I speak a little bit lower because I think Iris was speaking lower. I think Caitlin was speaking
that's definitely
a
an
little
Earth-2
lower.
thing.
Everyone on Earth-2
That's definitely an Earth-2 thing.
Speaks a little lower and a little
even that
tiny.
first time that even earlier in the season when Earth-2 Wells first shows up on Earth-1, it's like it's Wells, but he's a little bit Barry. He's a little bit Barry. We now need to save my daughter, Barry. So everyone is dropped down there a little bit. It's the vocal equivalent of a goatee for your evil dimension self. Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, nobody got like that Star Trek Earth-2 goatee.
Oh God, someone should have. Well, actually, the captain got the crazy sideburns.
Oh, I was gonna say Ollie did in the secret tunnel.
Ooh.
Oliver got the goatee.
All right. Well, that's a perfect. that's a perfect observation. It's a perfect bridge to get into Easter eggs. Let's talk Easter eggs. All right, Easter eggs. What did you notice about tonight's episode?
None.
Yeah, no Easter eggs tonight. So
sorry, folks.
Sorry, we couldn't find anything. It was slow night. Slow night for Easter eggs.
All right. So Easter eggs. Woo. All right. This is what we saw. Opening up, we went through that tunnel.
Oh, that tunnel.
Other dimensions.
That tunnel.
That tunnel. The biggest one to me, Supergirl.
Yeah.
Now we know officially they have announced Flash will be on Supergirl.
Yep, and they announced it not a minute too soon. They really got that announcement in under the wire for this episode coming up. Mm-hmm. It does make me curious as to whether or not
she was in there before.
Yeah. Whether or not they had signed that agreement, whether they had figured it out when they were writing this episode or when they wrote this episode. If there were just some placeholder spaces that they were like, let's see if we can get this agreement worked out. I wonder if that was done at the writing process or if it was a last-minute sub-in.
But yeah, I got to imagine on the way back, Barry's going to fall into another side, end up on Supergirl, come right back out.
I don't know if it'll be that soon. When is he expected to be on Supergirl? March?
Yeah.
Okay, that could add up.
March episode.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. We also saw in there the old Flash, which is the guy who plays Barry's dad.
Yep.
Was Flash on the 90s show. And they showed a shot of him in the tunnel, which I loved.
1990 Flash, which, looked great.
We watched. It's a great show.
It's a really good show.
We saw Green Arrow with the goatee, which is very comic book Green Arrow.
Jaunty and fun. It happened too quick. I couldn't tell. Was it blonde goatee?
I couldn't tell either.
I couldn't tell either.
I wasn't even sure if it was Connor or Oliver.
Okay. And the color palette's a little bit off because it's that blue tunnel.
Yeah.
But I really hope that I can go back and get a closer look and see that, like, jaunty, bright beach blonde kind of goatee.
Mm-hmm. And there better be a little hat.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, no, it was a hood.
It was. It was still a hood, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So we also saw Grodd. We've seen Grodd before.
Yep.
He was there. And then there was a guy in a hat with a gun. We think that was Jonah Hex.
Right.
So Jonah Hex is, what is he? He's from the past. He gets time traveled to the future for a bit. He goes back
And then
to the
it
past.
goes back to the past.
Yeah. So
he's a complicated man.
He's a fun guy. He's actually going to show up on Legends of Tomorrow, though.
Right.
I don't know if he'll be on Flash.
Right.
So
And it's hard to even say with 100% certainty that was Jonah Hex,
Yeah,
because
we're
it
not-
seemed like it. But Jonah Hex's outfit, it's a cowboy hat on a man in a trench coat. It's designed to kind of like blend into a crowd, and so that you don't get that much face.
Yeah, you could just be like regular dude who likes hats. I
Yeah.
mean, that could just be Joe in another universe. Joe
Hat man.
loves hats.
Joe
White
loves his
Joe.
hats.
It's White Joe.
Yeah.
We also saw a Legion ring. So the Legion of Superheroes is from like, what year? Like 3000, way in the future.
It's up there.
Superboy always joins them. It's a bunch of teen superheroes. I've never super enjoyed them, to be totally honest. I don't like that they're so far in the future. I never care about them.
Hey, this is called Easter eggs.
Not judging.
Not what you think about the
judging?
future.
All right, fair enough.
Just tone it down.
My absolute favorite Easter egg was that the mayor of Central City was Mayor Snart.
Snart!
Now, there's no way to know if that is Captain Cold, his sister Lisa, his dad.
Could be, could be his dad.
There are
yeah.
many Snarts in
There
the
are-
common name.
The the famous Snart family.
But it totally makes sense to me that Captain Cold is the mayor of old-timey Central City.
Yeah.
Even our Captain Cold talks like an old-timey guy.
Yeah.
Even Earth-1's Captain Cold is like,
A
I'm in
little
the
bit
wrong place. see?"
Slow,
Yeah.
a little bit old-fashioned.
Yeah,
All
your Captain
right,
Cold's better than mine.
Flash. Yeah, and also like that the announcement from Mayor Snart was an extension of curfew. Be like, everyone needs to get home, stay in and chill tonight. Of course, Mayor Snart. Of course, Mayor Snart.
Oh, your Mayor Snart is on point.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we had a couple more. These don't end, guys.
Yeah, it keeps going.
On Barry's phone before he called his mom. So the other numbers on his speed dial were Eddie, who I believe is Eddie Thawne from season 1. And then we
Straightforward.
had Bruce, Hal, and Diana. You have to assume Bruce Wayne Batman, Hal Jordan Green Lantern, Diana Prince Wonder Woman.
Yep.
But there's no Justice League, so he just happened to make friends with some non-superpowered people named Justice League.
But also, he got his mother tickets to a trip to Atlantis.
That was the next one.
Straight up Atlantis is real. Like there's no Justice League on that Earth. And so that makes me think there's no Aquaman on that Earth. But there's just straight up Atlantis tourism?
Never sunk.
There's a tourism angle?
If a city never sinks, it's not a big deal. If a
Okay.
city's just been there forever, you're like, yeah, whatever. Egypt.
You know what? You might be right.
Yeah, like if Egypt sunk and then we found it, we'd be like, oh my god, pyramids underwater. But if like it's just always there, you don't care. I'm not
Your
wrong.
act out for how we would react if we found underwater Egypt is dead on. Oh my god! Underwater pyramids, what? Oh!
Your impression of my impression is not good.
Yeah, layers.
Yeah, that was about, I think that's about it.
Okay.
I mean, like there was other little things. We had Deadshot, he's from Arrow.
Yep.
We all remember Ronnie
Yep.
as the old Firestorm.
Well, and now the one thing that I want to put out to you folks watching as well. Put this in the comments, tweet it at us. Let us know. So in the police precinct, there's that giant mural in the police precinct.
Yeah.
That on Earth-1, it's clearly like a parable for the Justice League. I forget exactly what it says. I've looked it up before, but it's like just like truth and justice, and it's Greek and Roman heroes that
Who are
all
clearly the Justice
clearly resemble the Justice League. On this one, it escapes me what it says on Earth-2,
With, like,
but it
free
just
and
seems
just?
free and just, and two armies lined up with one another. But they really did make a point to highlight that, and I don't think it was just to let you know that this is not the Earth-1 police precinct, and I don't think the set department would build a big-ass mural if it wasn't designed to be a little more meaningful. If you know what that means, if you know what this Earth-2 mural is supposed to represent, comment. Let us know. I'm very curious.
Oh, also, I have no idea who that guy in the mask at the end was.
Oh, I'm excited.
I have to assume it's someone with like voice powers,
Gotta
which is
be.
why you would put a thing on him, but I can't think of who has voice powers.
Some
in
kind of
DC.
mutant Black Canary who actually has it in her throat as
I was
opposed to the
trying
machine.
Maybe. I was thinking like Purple Man. I know he's Marvel, but like Purple Man-esque.
Okay, I get
Like,
that.
you know, mind control powers, so you gotta mask
I get that.
up. But yeah. So that's it for Easter eggs. Finally. Whew, sorry.
We have a lot of comments, guys.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's see what we got for comments.
Brian,
let's
what
talk.
do you got?
Hit us with your best shot.
So many comments.
Pick your favorite.
So many comments. Joshua Hamlin.
Joshua
says,
Hamlin.
We absolutely need Earth-1 Geomancer due to Velocity 7. Velocity 7 is going to end up being a big part of the show.
All right, so what was the username again?
Josh Hamblin.
Josh Hamblin. Okay. So I don't think we do. I think you're right. Velocity 7 is going to be a big part of the show. I think that's probably how Wally is going to eventually get his powers.
That's what I was thinking.
So I do agree. Velocity 7, big component of the show, and it needs to have a storyline. I don't think it needs to have a storyline right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of season left.
I'm
we
okay
got,
with Geomancer's powers.
Left.
I think that they can highlight that a little bit better. Like, I think that Geomancer could be a fun villain, and Velocity 7 is going to play an important part, but I think these 2 episodes, it's a little distracting, and it's rushing what could be an important plot line down the road. It'd be better to do it.
It will definitely be Wally getting his powers, because he was in one scene for no reason in episode 1. Like, he literally didn't do anything. So next episode, well, once they get to 9, because Velocity 9 in the comics is what they're at, like the number that does it.
Right.
So Velocity 9 probably Wally
2
gets
velocities away.
2 velocities away. Keep up. What else we got?
What else we got on comments tonight?
Foxarocious.
Foxarocious. Nice name.
Foxarocious says, this episode was freaking crazy. How do you guys think this will change Earth's 1 future? How is Barry going to act around Iris when he gets back?
Ooh, that is a great point. Foxarocious, and a great name. So Foxarocious thinking that this is going to have, you're right, Foxarocious, this is a crazy episode. Like crazy in a good way. And it's definitely going to affect how Barry acts once he gets back to Earth 1.
It will, and I'm not really looking forward to that, because I feel it will very be much like season 1 again. Barry's in love with Iris, and she continues to not reciprocate.
Well, I think we're not looking forward to that because we still miss Patty. We're still miss Patty.
Patty, hope you're doing okay.
Patty!
Midway City, I hope
it's definitely going to, you're right. It's definitely going to rekindle some fire for Iris when he gets back to Earth 1.
Earth 1 Iris has never been passionate for Barry. Like, even in that one universe where they kissed and then he changed time, like, I didn't feel it ever. And I'm not looking forward to pining Barry being like, on Earth-2 we're together, and it just made me realize what we could have, and I just want that, Iris.
Because we already saw that play out in season 1 with he went to the future, and she was Iris, or he found out in the future she's Iris West Allen. And then he was like, but what if we're fated to be together? So we've already seen this exact same thing play out. I'm not super excited for it, but it's definitely going to happen.
Now, if Earth-2 Iris wants to come be with Barry, I'm for it.
Yep.
Right. What else we got?
Hylian01 says that you guys missed the Bart Allen reference.
Hylian01 says we missed a Bart Allen reference.
Foxarocious was like, Bart Allen reference? What are you
Joe
talking
called him
about?
Bartholomew.
Oh, because Joe calls him Bartholomew. Oh, so on Earth-2 he's Bartholomew.
Oh.
Which is a Bart Allen reference. You
Wow.
are totally right.
How did we black out on that one?
All right, so for the record, Bart Allen is the third Flash. He's Barry Allen's grandson from the future. He goes by Impulse, goes by Kid Flash, and he's very briefly a Flash before he's killed.
Yeah.
Comes back to life.
Well, yeah. He's killed. He comes back to life. Most Flashes are killed. Spoiler. It's not. It's not good.
Flash
I think every
dies.
Flash. Yeah, it's not good to be a Flash in the comics.
All right.
Alright,
But
one
yeah,
more.
thank you. All right, one more.
And we got one more.
Josh Hamblin, again, he says he's pretty sure that guy in the hat is Rick Grimes.
Josh Hamlin thinking that it's Rick Grimes in the Flash from multiple dimensions. You know what? I'll take it. Since you know what? It really could. You know what? That image is whoever you want it to be. That image is all of us, folks. That's it. Because they're never going to confirm it. They're not going to see Jonah Hex in Legends of Tomorrow, and Jonah Hex is going to be like, I think one time I was in a vision from the Flash. Partner, like there's gonna be no one's self-aware. You know, it is who you want it to be. It's whoever it is. It's Rick Grimes.
Until they just put out a thing with like, this is what all the Easter eggs
They'll never
were.
do that.
Of course, that wasn't Supergirl. Yeah, it was.
All right, so that was a lot of fun. Long Easter egg section tonight because well, it was that kind of episode, and I'm expecting that same kind of thing next week.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it. More Earth-2, less Geomancer.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to Fan v Fan, and we're gonna have more of this next week with a little bit more Earth-2 visits. So tweet along with us during the show using hashtag #FanVFan, and be sure to subscribe to Dorkshelf at Dorkshelf
on Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube to @Dorkshelf.
Damn right.
Subscribe to Dorkshelf everywhere, and you can find us on textfromsuperheroes.com, our webcomic we run. And I'm Diana McCullough.
I'm Andrew Ivanme.
We'll see you next week.
Kicked him out.